If you're watching this, chances are you're considering a move to the Spruce Grove area, or at least seriously wondering whether it might be the right fit for you or not. Over the years of making videos for my channel and helping families relocate here, I've learned what matters the most. It's not just the facts, but it's also the lived experience. When I'm talking about Spruce Grove, there's always a reoccurring theme, and that is balance. People don't come here wanting less, they just come here wanting something a bit different. They want quieter streets, safer parks, fewer frustrations in daily life, and all of this while still having access to the big city amenities as well as opportunities. So speaking of commuting and the location, you're just west of Edmonton, and the drive, if you're going downtown, is around 30 minutes or so, depending on the traffic, time of day, and weather. You can get to West Edmonton Mall in just under 20 minutes approximately, and the city is serviced by Highway 16A and the Yellowhead, which is Highway 16, giving you a couple options for access, which makes commuting into Edmonton pretty easy. For non-drivers, you can get into Edmonton on the public bus system, or inside Spruce Grove, we have the on-demand local transit system as well. We also do have Uber out here. In Spruce Grove, things are easy. Grocery runs, school drop-offs, errands, most things take about 5-10 minutes of a drive to get there, so getting around in the city is super convenient. When people ask me which part of Spruce Grove is the best or which neighborhood, it really just depends on your style, your budget, and your priorities. But here is a general lay of the land. So the central Spruce Grove neighborhoods contain the oldest houses with the largest lots, closest access to the majority of the schools, as well as being walkable to the amenities as well as the trail system. The homes in the central area were built in the 70s or 80s for the most part, I would say. And this area has older tree cover, more mature lots, and you also don't get the same feel as what you have in the brand new subdivisions, a little bit more character there rather than cookie cutter. And I always show these areas to my clients if that's what they're looking for. As the city grew in the 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, it sprawled out, and it's continuing to do so. So if we look at the northern side of Spruce, it's a mix of mature, well-established neighborhoods as well as newer neighborhoods. Housing ranges from older homes to modern builds, with a strong focus on single-family homes in the north. This area is known for some larger lots as well, tree-lined streets, scenic parks, and the links golf course is also there, giving it a quieter, more established kind of feel. Western Spruce Grove is a newer growing area with a mix of single-family homes, half duplexes, as well as some condo living in that area as well. It's home to some of the city's most populated neighborhoods and offers great access to recreation, amenities, as well as the major roadways. Ongoing and future commercial development continues to add convenience to that area as well. East Spruce Grove is the fastest growing part of the city, and it's also a popular choice for commuters. It blends new neighborhoods, established areas, shopping, and new civic development, thinking of Heavy Metal Place as well as the transit center, and easy access to Edmonton, as well as expanding infrastructure. Those are things that make this area especially appealing for families as well as professionals. And for a full overview of the neighborhoods of Spruce Grove, you can also check out this video that I made last year. So let's dig into the numbers a little bit. As of 2021, Spruce had just over 37,000 residents. And then by the 2023 census, the city had a population of 38,985 people. Now we are at over 42,500 residents. So that growth has definitely been quite steady in recent years. And the appeal of the area, I would say, is definitely what is contributing to that steady growth. There's also a lot of construction happening here as a result. If we're looking at things on the financial side, the average household income sits a little bit higher than some other Alberta cities. It's at about $130,000, and home ownership rates are at about 76%. Rentals are at 24%. Single family homes here often start in the low to mid $300,000 range. So with this price range, you could get an older bungalow or maybe an older half duplex or a row house. If you're looking in the mid $400,000 range, you're looking into a newer half duplex or maybe an older 2-story with an attached garage or a detached lane home. You can also get a bit more house for your money than you would currently find in Edmonton. So as of November 2025, the average price of a detached home in Spruce was sitting at $524,000, whereas in Edmonton, it was at $545,000, so roughly about a $20,000 difference. To be honest, this spread used to be over $40,000 a few years ago when I started making these videos, but the gap is closing because of the increased demand of living here. So while there is a value from a dollar standpoint, it's also that the value in the lifestyle is also what you're going to want to weigh out. In terms of utilities, groceries, property taxes, etc., the cost of living will be very similar to what you would find in Edmonton, but lower than maybe what you would find in St. Albert. Here is a pro tip for you. A lot of my relocation buyers opt for new construction because of the warranties that those houses offer. So in Spruce, you can still buy a brand new house that has a yard on either side of it, whereas in Edmonton, the new construction homes are being built on 0 lot lines. So that means the house is positioned right up against one side of the property's boundaries, leaving no side yard on that side. So you only have space on one side of your house to get to your backyard. So that's a bit of an intangible in terms of pricing, but I think it's worth mentioning as it adds value in a lot of my clients' opinions. Another question I get all the time is, how are the schools? Spruce Grove falls under Parkland School Division, which offers a wide range of elementary, middle, and high schools. We also have the Evergreen Catholic School System as well as Living Waters Christian Academy. So you've got options. Speaking as a parent with kids that have recently, not that recently, but they've already graduated, it's great to see the modernization of the public school facilities here. So my stepkids, unfortunately, missed the boat on the renovations by a few years as they went to Woodhaven for junior high, which was updated after they left. And now Spruce Grove Composite High School is currently being completely rebuilt. So great news for the students that'll be attending there to be in those brand new facilities. And overall, the schools are modern. We felt the teachers were supportive and the programs were engaging, and that's in our family's opinion. With now having kids in that post-secondary range, it's also worth it to comment that having the ability for them to commute into Edmonton to access institutions like the U of A or NAIT and other great post-secondary schools is also a great benefit. On the amenities side of things, the Tri-Leisure Center is a great community asset. It has multiple arenas, a fitness facility, pools, they've got a track, and it's one of the biggest benefits that people consider when they're relocating to the area. We have Jubilee Park, and that has playgrounds, a spray park in the summer, picnic areas, trails, and the Canada Day celebration is also hosted there, and it's great for any other kind of community park type events. We have Heritage Grove Park, my favorite, which brings a natural forest trails into the mix. So we've got 40 kilometers of both paved and gravel trails right smack dab in the middle of the city. It's lovely. Heavy Metal Place is also a brand new facility that we just have gotten opened up in the last couple of years, which features 2 NHL-sized ice rinks, a black box theater, a library, art gallery, shopping as well in Spruce Grove. Groceries, medical, and services are kind of all spread out throughout the city. And many of my clients tell me they feel like they have everything that they need in a very short drive, which is super convenient. You can get pretty much anywhere you need to go within 10 minutes. For things to do in the summer months, you're going to find the Spruce Grove Farmers Market, and we also have some fairs, concerts and outdoor events, neighborhood gatherings, barbecues. trail walking, like I mentioned, biking, weekends in the parks, and then events, like I said, the Canada Day celebration. In the winter, we have the Spruce Grove Light Up at the beginning of December. Holiday markets, there's outdoor skating all over town, sledding, and then of course the indoor recreation that you would find at the Tri-Leisure Center, and then multiple restaurants and cafes. All right, you've been waiting for it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the pros and cons. So of course, it's not all rainbows and unicorns around here. I want to give you some honest insights into both the pros and cons of living here, in my opinion, but we'll start with the negative. So for the cons, there's not a lot of nightlife, so late night entertainment is pretty limited because Spruce Grove is definitely more of a family community. So if your ideal weekend includes concerts or restaurants open late, big experiences or major sporting events, you'll definitely be driving into Edmonton for those. And the Ubers are pretty pricey during peak hours, so that's something to keep in mind. The weather, I mean, winters are winters. If you're moving here from BC, it could be a shock to the system depending on where you're coming from. And the snow, the cold, and the maintenance that comes along with that, like shoveling, snow clearing, it's all part of the deal. Commuting can be a bit of a pain in the neck when we get a big dump of snow as well. So the highways can experience a huge bottleneck of traffic if the road conditions are bad, but it's not something that happens very often. If you are a commuter, I would definitely recommend keeping an eye out on the road reports. And on extra snowy days, just watch those just in case you need to give yourself some extra time. There's no big clothing brands, so we do have some incredible boutique clothing stores like Noble Rise and Danny and Maddie, very cute. But if you're wanting to do the typical mall shop, you're going to be going into Edmonton for that. It's honestly not the end of the world because West Edmonton Mall is about 20 minutes away and it has every store you could ever imagine. So same con also goes for restaurants here. So we do have some fantastic family-owned ones. My favorites are Barbacoa, Barbaretta, El Taco Loco, and It's Sushi. But overall, the options are kind of limited when you compare to how many residents we have in the area. This is always evolving though, and more restaurants are always popping up. But since we are a bedroom community to Edmonton, this is where in Edmonton is where you're going to find a plethora of options when you want them. And just a side note, I recently went to Italy, and honestly, the best Italian food that I've had in recent history was at Olia, which is a downtown Edmonton restaurant, just saying. Another con, you run into everyone you know if you've lived here for a long time. You will not be able to go through the city incognito. This could be a plus or a minus depending on what type of person or mood you're in, but you'll definitely be able to count on running into people you know when you're out shopping. We do have limited public transit as well. So while there are commuter buses into Edmonton, the transit within the city itself is a bit limited, meaning that owning a car is going to be essential for most of your daily needs. Lack of amenities in the northwest quadrant, so we're talking Harvest Ridge and Spruce Ridge, it would really do them well to have another convenience store or a gas station out there because those are two of the most highly populated neighborhoods in Spruce. And also, speaking of gas stations, we do need more gas stations, in my opinion, heading eastbound into Edmonton on Highway 16A. Right now we have a handful, but they're not super accessible off of the highway. And I think it would be great to have another one in that area that's just easy to pull into. And now the pros. So my first one, I've said it a million times, it's that balance of city life and comfort in one. You get all of the urban amenities, well, most of them, without the downsides of big city life, like shopping, restaurants, multiple grocery stores, and you can get everything really that you would ever need within our city limits, which is an incredibly convenient pro. We have an easy drive to the airport, so it's about 45 minutes away from Spruce, and it's all highway driving, which is fantastic in my opinion. And I used to work in Toronto and in Vancouver, so if you've ever tried driving in rush hour to make it to Pearson International or Vancouver International, you will probably agree with me. Heritage Grove Park, which I already mentioned, is one of my favorite pros. The trail system, it's such a special bonus to have that smack dab in the middle of the city, and our family even chose the neighborhood that we live in right now based on its proximity to the trail system. So that goes to show how much we really love it. It's also dog friendly. So I have 2 little dogs, and I would say that Spruce Grove is super dog friendly because we've got all these walking trails and the areas, and we also have a couple off-leash dog parks in town as well. And I kind of get first-hand knowledge of this, showing so many houses in the area. I definitely noticed that a lot of families do have dogs, but don't worry, they're not going to be home during the showings. Traffic enforcement. So I slagged this one hard in my pros and cons video from a couple years ago, but this is no longer an issue because the city removed those speed traps and the photo radar because of new laws that the Alberta government brought in. It was a little bit overzealous before, to be honest, but the elimination of those speed traps have definitely made getting around in town a little bit less stressful. Low crime and safety, which is huge. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where I live, but let's just say when we do take the dogs for the walk, we don't necessarily feel like we have to lock the doors, and I think that says everything right there. Affordability relative to value. Again, I've mentioned this quite a bit in the past and in this video too, but you will find more space, nicer lots, and lower pricing that you would find compared to Edmonton with comparable features, similar house. We also have a strong recreation and green focus. So the parks, trails, ponds, skate park, outdoor rinks, they're all absolutely lovely, and they give the city a super serene vibe, which I really love. We're also growing, but it's not unruly. So you can feel the momentum, but not that chaotic sprawl and the level of annoying traffic you might find in the south side of Edmonton, for instance. And then finally, we're very family friendly. So you'll feel safe having your kids go outside to play because the city is very family focused, and that pro is absolutely priceless. Phew, that was a lot. So now that you have all of the insider information, do you think that Spruce Grove could be right for you? If your wish list includes more space, great recreation, a safe community, and a manageable commute, all while being close to a major city center and airport, then Spruce Grove should absolutely make your short list. I would love to help you make that decision even easier. You can start by downloading the Spruce Grove Community Guide, link below, or my Buyer Success Guide to get you started. And please reach out, send me an email. I would absolutely love to chat about how I can help you. See you again next time.